Hello and welcome. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran and you're watching Express News on DD India. Let's get started. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday dedicated to the nation the successful implementation of the 3 new criminal laws aimed at reforming India's criminal justice system. The new criminal laws, the Bharatiya Nyay Sanhita, the Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita and the Bharatiya Sakshi Adhiniyam were implemented nationwide on 1st July 2024. The Prime Minister also addressed the gathering at the Punjab Engineering College Hall in the state. He stressed that the new criminal laws signify the end of colonial era laws. India's President Draupadi Murmu conferred the National Awards for Empowering Persons with Disabilities to 33 individuals and institutions in New Delhi on Tuesday on the occasion of the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. Speaking on the occasion, the President spoke about the importance of empowerment. The awardees expressed their gratitude on being bestowed the honour. India's Minister for Social Justice and Empowerment, Dr. Virendra Kumar, also unveiled 16 transformative initiatives aimed at enriching the lives of persons with disabilities. The International Day of Persons with Disabilities is observed on December 3rd, with this year's theme being Amplifying the Leadership of Persons with Disabilities for an Inclusive and Sustainable Future. The Indian government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, launched the Accessible India campaign on 3rd December 2015. It completes 9 years. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar addressed the lower house, that's the Lok Sabha of Parliament, on India-China ties on Tuesday. He said, without peace at border, ties cannot move forward. In the ongoing winter session of Parliament, Minister Hardeep Singh Puri moved the Oil Fields Regulation and Development Amendment Bill 2024 for consideration and passing in the upper house, that's the Rajya Sabha. India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman moved the Banking Laws Amendment Bill 2024 for consideration and passing in the lower house, that's the Lok Sabha, on Tuesday. Lawmakers paid floral tributes to the country's first president, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, on his birth anniversary in the Central Hall of Parliament on Tuesday. India's Environment, Forests and Climate Change Minister Bhupender Yadav on Monday outlined India's efforts to address land degradation and desertification, aligning itself with the objectives of the UN Convention to combat desertification. India to celebrate Navy Day on Wednesday. India's President Draupadi Murmu will witness the operational demonstration by the Indian Navy. India's G20 Sherpa Amitabh Kant addressed a keynote at the second day of the CII Partnership Summit 2024 on Tuesday. He said for the next 3 decades, 3/4 of the global development will come from the Global South. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar met with Khalifa Al-Harthi, the Under-Secretary for Political Affairs of Oman, on Tuesday. Both leaders discussed wide-ranging cooperation and new opportunities in trade, investments, technology and space. One terrorist was killed in an encounter with security forces in Srinagar's Dachigam forest on Tuesday in a joint operation by the Indian Army and the Jammu and Kashmir Police. Under the Atal Innovation Mission, Swedish Embassy in India celebrated She STEM 2024 initiative celebrating the contributions of women in science and technology, engineering and mathematics. In Ladakh, Government Model Middle School Sarche at the Line of Control celebrated its annual day in collaboration with the Indian Army, showcasing unity and the cultural richness of the Batalik sector. Agniveers participate in the passing out parade in Hyderabad. Major General Puneet Mehta of the Southern Command reviewed the parade. In business, the US launched its third crackdown in 3 years on China's semiconductor industry, curbing exports to 140 companies, including chip equipment maker Naura Technology Group. The move is one of the Biden government's large-scale efforts to stymie China's ability to access and produce chips that can help advance artificial intelligence for military applications. The International Monetary Fund voted to approve the immediate disbursement of around $360 million to help support Ghana's economy, days before Ghanaians head to the polls to pick their next president. The IMF, in a statement announcing the board's approval, said that Ghana's performance under the program has been generally satisfactory and reform efforts are paying off. A judge in the United States, Kathleen McCormick, has upheld a decision to deny Tesla CEO Elon Musk a multi-billion-dollar pay package despite shareholders voting to restore the compensation deal. McCormick ordered Tesla to pay the attorneys who brought the case $345 million, well short of the billions they initially requested. UK's cybersecurity chief warned of a rise in hostile activity in the country's cyberspace, with the number of incidents handled by officials rising by 16% in 2024 compared to a year ago. Oil prices nudged higher on Tuesday but remained within a narrow trading range as traders awaited the outcome of an OPEC Plus meeting later this week. Brent crude futures rose 31 cents to $72.14 a barrel after dropping 1 cent in the previous session, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude climbed 26 cents to $68.36. Sri Lanka has hinted that the country's public sector workforce will face significant downsizing in coming years. In some more world news, the U.S. State Department has approved the potential sale of equipment and follow-on support for MH-60R Seahawk helicopters to India for an estimated cost of $1.17 billion. Israel and Hezbollah exchanged strikes as Israeli military attacked dozens of Hezbollah targets in Lebanon after a Hezbollah targeting an Israeli military position earlier in the day. Israel's military on Monday said that an American-born Israeli soldier believed to have been taken hostage during the Hamas 7th October attacks last year had in fact been killed during the attacks, and his body had been held in Gaza ever since. US President-elect Donald Trump said on Monday that they would be hell to pay in West Asia if hostages held in the Gaza were not released prior to his 20th January inauguration. Syrian rebels gained more control around Aleppo. The UN said on Monday that at least 48,500 people have been displaced across Syria. In an interview to a local Iranian channel, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian said on Monday that Iran will do whatever it can to create security and peace for the territorial integrity of all countries, without specifying which country he was referring to. The United States on Monday announced a new $725 million military aid package for Ukraine that includes anti-personnel landmines, Stinger missiles, counter-drone systems, and artillery ammunition. Russia's President Vladimir Putin and his Belarusian counterpart Alexander Lukashenko will sign a landmark security pact on Friday that reflects global geopolitical changes. US President Joe Biden has arrived in Angola in his first and only visit to sub-Saharan Africa as the country's president. The trip is seen as a bid to counter increased Chinese investment on the continent. US President-elect Donald Trump to attend the reopening of the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris on Saturday. The Notre Dame Cathedral is reopened for public after 5 years after a fire. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken held a meeting with the chairperson of the External Relations Committee of the Communist Party of Vietnam, Le Hoai Trung, and hailed the strength of ties between the two nations. About 1,500 migrants in southern Mexico went ahead with their journey to the US on Monday. Their greatest concern is that the border will be closed next year when Donald Trump takes office. The government of France's Prime Minister Michel Barnier is facing collapse after right and left-wing parties have promised to put forward a no-confidence vote against it amid a budget dispute. France's President Emmanuel Macron met Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in Riyadh during a 3-day state visit that's focused on strengthening diplomatic and economic ties. Georgia's Prime Minister Irakli Kovakidze on Monday ruled out the possibility of talks between the government and opposition, which has boycotted the parliament and backed street protests. Police used water cannons on protesters who gathered in Tbilisi for the 5th consecutive night on Monday to rally against the government's decision to suspend talks on joining the European Union. Romania's Constitutional Court on Monday validated the result in the country's presidential election. A runoff vote is to be held on the 8th of December. Ireland's general election concluded late Monday after 3 days of vote counting. The incumbent centre-right parties Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael set to retain power following coalition expected to take place in coming weeks. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan welcomed his Montenegrin counterpart Jakov Milatovic with an official ceremony featuring state and military honors in the country's capital Ankara on Tuesday. No lawyer appeared for Chinmoy Krishnadas Brahmachari in Bangladesh court on Tuesday for the hearing of his bail petition. The court deferred the petition for a month to 2nd January next year. We'll be back after a short break. Keep watching DD India. Welcome back. You're watching Express News. Let's move on to weather news now. A thin layer of smog engulfed several parts of the national capital on Tuesday as the air quality in the city remained in the poor category. Heavy rainfall from the Thenjil cyclone has inundated numerous regions in northern Tamil Nadu, prompting widespread school closures across multiple districts on Tuesday. According to the India Meteorological Department, the system is likely to develop further and move into the southeast and east central Arabian Sea near Kerala and Karnataka coasts. Tamil Nadu's Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, in a social media post, has informed that Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in a telephonic conversation, inquired about the damage caused in the state. The Machil sector in Kupwara district of Jammu and Kashmir received fresh snowfall, further enhancing the picturesque beauty of the region. In western New York City in the US, a small town, Fredonia, is experiencing a community-driven cleanup effort after more than 2 feet of snow blanketed the village over the weekend. As climate change continues to be a significant problem worldwide, the hearing at the International Court of Justice is aimed at setting legal guidelines for how countries should protect the planet against climate change. As per the European Union's Copernicus Climate Change Service, last year in 2023, the world registered a shocking record of 1.48 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial level. This year is expected to reach above 1.55 degrees Celsius on average. In Malaysia, residents in the town of Tumpat returned to submerged homes and shops on Monday as one of the worst floods in decades began receding in some areas in this Southeast Asian country. The Malaysian Meteorological Department forecast a wind convergence in the worst-hit states of Kelantan and Terengganu from December 3rd to the 4th, bringing thunderstorms and heavy rains. Hundreds of Catholic devotees climbed Guatemala's Volcan de Agua in procession to return the statue of Christ of the Heights to its chapel in the volcano's crater. In Guatemala, every year, locals from neighboring communities visit the chapel where the Christ of the Heights statue has stood for 48 years, seeking rain, a bountiful harvest, and help with personal troubles. US First Lady Jill Biden unveiled the White House's holiday decorations under the theme A Season of Peace and Light, inviting National Guard families as the first guests to experience the festive display. The festive display includes a towering Christmas tree surrounded by an amusement park-style carousel, brass-colored bells and sleigh bells lining a hallway, and a ceiling design that mimics snowfall. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer switched on the annual Christmas tree lights outside 10 Downing Street, his first since becoming the country's Prime Minister. Starmer, along with his wife Victoria, were greeted by a choir outside their 10 Downing Street residence. In Vietnam, the 10th Dalat Flower Festival is a cultural and tourism festival of Lam Dong province, organized to promote the image of culture, people and tourism of Dalat Lam Dong to domestic and foreign tourists. Promoting the advantages of soil, climate, production, business traditions and the sentiment of flower growers and flower lovers, Dalat affirms itself as the largest flower production center in the country, from output, quality to variety. A winter festival said to date back more than 900 years has been held in a community in the mountains of Japan's northeastern prefecture of Fukushima. The festival is designated by the Japanese government as an important intangible folk cultural property. About 300 people dressed in white gathered in a field in the district and took part in a ceremony to mark the start of the winter festival. In sports news, motorsports enthusiasts gathered in the eastern Libyan city as part of the Benghazi BMW Youth Club Festival, a large gathering for car and motorcycle lovers. The director of the Libya Stars Motorcycle Club said nearly 1,500 to 2,000 people attended this year's edition, coming from cities across Libya and beyond. Paris's Notre Dame Cathedral will reopen its doors next week to tourists and the Catholic faithful, 5.5 years after fire gutted the Gothic masterpiece, one of the French capital's most beloved and visited monuments. For booksellers like Albert Abbey, the Notre Dame Cathedral was a next-door neighbor, a protective presence whose popularity brought a stream of tourists along the riverbanks. Musicians and couple Rihanna and A$AP Rocky brought their star power to the annual Fashion Awards at London's Royal Albert Hall. During the glitzy gala, US designer, filmmaker and businessperson Tom Ford was honored with this year's Outstanding Achievement Award for his body of work. Musicians Joe Jonas and Rita Ora and actors Selma Blair, Daisy Ridley and Jodie Turner-Smith were among the celebrities attending the annual Fashion Awards at London's Royal Albert Hall. PETA supporters stormed the red carpet at the Fashion Awards at the Royal Albert Hall to urge the industry to swear off using feathers. Emmy-winning actress Kerry Washington received the 2,796th star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Kerry Washington will next be seen in true life World War II drama The 688, directed by Perry, which will stream on Netflix on 20th December. Indian superstar Amir Khan was in London on Monday to promote his award season hopeful Lost Ladies, India's 2024 Oscar submission. At the event, Amir Khan said the movie Lost Ladies had a story which tackles issues which actually are universal, irrespective of different parts of the world. Indian filmmaker Payal Kapadia's film All We Imagine Is Light has won the Best International Feature Award at the 2024 Gotham Awards in New York City. The much-awaited Pushpa 2, The Rule, has set the stage for a spectacular release. Judging by its impressive first-day advance booking collections, the film has generated massive buzz and anticipation across India. Bandish Bandits, a series that became a fan favorite, is all set to return with an all-new season, promising a mix of drama, music and rivalry. On the International Day of Persons with Disabilities 2024, India's President Draupadi Murmu conferred Indian para-athletes with national awards for their outstanding contributions. India hockey team will take on Malaysia in the Men's Junior Asia Cup semi-final in Muscat on Tuesday. In the other semi-final, Pakistan hockey team will clash with Japan in the Men's Junior Asia Cup in Muscat on Tuesday. Australia's Davis Cup champion Neil Fraser has passed away at the age of 91. He won the Davis Cup 4 times and also clinched singles, doubles and mixed doubles titles at a Grand Slam. Carlos Alcaraz and Taylor Fritz have been confirmed for the 8th edition of the Laver Cup, which is scheduled to be held in San Francisco in September 2025. The Davis Cup's final 8 stage will be held in Italy from 2025 to 2027, with next year's edition taking place in Bologna City, Italy from Davis Cup in 2024. India's head coach Gautam Gambhir rejoins the team in Australia on Tuesday after having flown back home for personal reasons. Nahid Rana's first Test 5-wicket haul nudged Bangladesh ahead of the West Indies on day 3 of the second and final Test at Sabina Park. West Indies have called up all-rounder Justin Greaves and uncapped keeper batter Amir Jangu to their ODI squad for the home series against Bangladesh starting from the 8th of December. Cricket Australia has announced that Todd Greenberg has been appointed as the new Chief Executive Officer. He'll take the reins from Nick Hockey in March 2025. Manchester United are unbeaten in their first 3 games under Ruben Amorim, but the Portuguese faces the first real test of his managerial skills against Arsenal on Wednesday. Ruud van Nistelrooy was disappointed to leave Manchester United after a successful spell as interim coach came to an end. Al Saad claimed a 2-1 win against Al Nassr to take the Qatari outfit into the knockout rounds of the Asian Champions League Elite. Austria's teenager Thomas Ashura landed the first ever double backflip in the surf freestyle competition at the Wingfoil World Cup in Brazil. Ashura scored a perfect 10 for the trick and won the event. And a baggy green test cap worn by Australian great Don Bradman sold for $250,000 at auction on Tuesday. Bradman wore the cap during India's 1947-48 tour. And with that, it's a wrap on Express News. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.